criticize
everything that an African woman wants. So no, you actually have to work for her love. I'm sorry.
So you want to sit up here and criticize people about what you don't want. This is what I 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 hate. This is what I dislike. This is who we think are bad. This is what we find distasteful. This is what we find unacceptable. This is what we find rejectable.
Yeah.
Objectionable.
Yeah.
I am very free with my language to talk about what I don't want.
Yeah.
Right? So where's the affirming language to tell all of these men who are coming here with genuine intent? Here.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Mai and this is the Repat podcast. I'll let this lovely lady on my right hand introduce herself.
Hi, it's Tina.
Tina from where?
Tina from Uganda, but the UK. I'm a social media consultant. Hire me.
Okay. Nice. Gabs, please.
Master Gabs, I'm a world citizen by now since y'all made me go viral.
Yeah, guys.
I'm everywhere.
Said, okay.
I'm everywhere. So let's go.
I'm the little guy on the podcast. My name is not necessary. Let's get into the clip.
Okay. This clip is from Rants by T on TikTok. Watch this with us and react to it with us.
Now, I've been watching a lot of videos where American women are talking about the black man and all that. And I'm like, they can't be that bad, can they? Well, my dear, American women, your points are valid and it makes sense. Now, let me tell you why. I had an encounter with a black American man. Now, before we go any further, let's agree that not every black American man is like that. But from the complaints I've seen, from the videos I've seen, from what the women are saying, American women are saying, some of these things are valid. I had an opportunity to talk to a black American guy and I understand. Ladies, I understand. You know, something is wrong with the men in America. I'm sorry. Something is totally off. They need to collect and round them up like cattle and put them into therapy. Some of them belong in asylums. And this was a typical passport bro. You could tell, I want an African woman. I want my child to look like you. Very narcissistic, very, you know. But then, and for the American men, black American men coming to Africa to look for women, understand that African women are educated, if not more educated than some of the American women. So when you are coming with your broken mentality, your broken approach towards women, understand that African women are not built for that. And I don't know who told you that going out of your country is going to find you women who are going to accept your bullshit, accept your narcissism, accept your closed minds, stagnant way of looking at life, your abusive characters, zero accountability, zero personalities, zero boundaries. Homeboy had no personality. Conversations, like, I understand until you have interacted with a group of people, you would never understand, would you? But I finally understood because I had an interaction with a black African American man. Black American, it is what you like to call yourself, okay? But no, baby. A lot of you should activate.
Okay, guys.
Who wants to go first?
You heard her Rants by T.
I think Tina is a hater of the passport bros. It would be nice to hear what she has to say.
Wow, Tina, what do you think?
I'm not a hater of the passport bros. I am just not for passport bro lifestyle in general. Because we had a podcast last time where I said that it was glorified sex tourism and someone looked at me like I was crazy.
Do you still believe that?
Yeah, I do, because people in the comments validated my thoughts. It is glorified sex tourism. It's men who can't get a certain level of vagina where they are. So they travel to places where maybe their currency is worth more, right? So they'll go to like Africa or, Asia or different places where for example, so he's a 5 in the States, but he's an 8 over here is what it tends to be. So if you have to travel that far just for some cat, it's weird.
Let's give Tina an applause.
And you're going to come for me in the comments.
We're going to put that on. That's going to be on TikTok and Facebook Reels, by the way, that whole thing. Viral.
No.
Thank you for your content.
To beat me in the comments.
Thank you. Oh, they're going to get you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But Gabs, what do you think? Before we move on to O'Shea.
I mean, I don't know that I have an opinion about this, to be honest with you, because I don't find my place in this conversation to have an opinion about it. But I'll say this. Not all men from America are the same. So yes, she said this gentleman is not, she's not talking about all Black American men, but she's talking about, she's making statements about her experience with this guy that she encountered with, but then she's making general statements about how Black American men need to be treated, which to me there's a contradiction in that. So when she's saying, I'm not talking about all Black American men, but I had an occasion to meet this guy, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Right? What culture did he grow up in? What type of a background does he have that informs some of the conversations that he was having with her? And what place does she have to then take the experience of dealing with this one guy and make statements like, all of these Black American men need to be rounded up like cattle? Do you know if a Black American man went online and said all of these African women need to be rounded up like cattle? Yo, we need to keep that same energy. Like, that's the stuff that pisses me off. Like, you girls like to have this freedom to get loose and slick at the mouth. When you're making a critical statement, just because you're a woman, you feel like you can apply something that's a hell of a lot more offensive than what you would accept to receive from a man making a statement about you or your gender. So for you guys, you're over there applauding, snapping, clapping for her, like, go sister, yes. I'm like, come on, yo, that's BS. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, O'Shea, Sacramento, California, right? I was born and raised in the Northern Virginia area, DMV, East Coast, West Coast. We have two entirely different backgrounds, upbringings. We have two entirely different looks on the world. But I've spent more of my life living in the U.S. than I have anywhere else. So by that estimation, you could say that I have some of the characteristics in terms of the experiences that I have that make me understand the mindset of an African American man. So what I'll say is, it's fun. It's clickbait. It's a good conversation starter, and there's a huge debate raging online, right? I don't really have the highest opinion of passport bros, right? I'll say that. Like, I don't have an opinion here or there. I kind of also have also just thought or imagined that passport bros are just guys who are out there just trying to have fun. I'm saying having fun. I don't say sex tourism. You're just trying to see the world and enjoy yourself. And if your idea of fun includes engaging in non-committal sex with a whole bunch of women from the different countries where you're going to visit, good for you. I'm not saying that that's their end game. I'm not saying that's what defines their motivation. But yeah, sure. I'm sure it applies. But I'm suspect of that lady. Like, I want to know more about that lady, because that lady got some crazy eyes. She got some stuff about her that makes me also feel like she could drive a guy in a conversation to say some stuff that he would not necessarily say. She might have made that guy get out of character just based upon some stuff that she's got going on with her in her life. So
we don't know, but
I'm taking it with a huge grain of salt.
Okay.
Huge grain of salt.
So let me again, it's kind of hard to follow this guy, but I'm gonna make an attempt. Firstly, when you say Black American or African American, what are you talking about? And here's what I'm saying, because I've met a guy who is South Sudanese and was from Canada and some woman here classified him as being an African American.
Oh.
So it could be any black person with an American accent, and they are classified into the African American community. Now, you're talking about the African American community, you're talking about a distinct group of people. You have to do something. Typically, if you will say African American, I think there's a new term now. There's hashtag ADOS or FBA, Foundational Black American. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about a specific group of people that have there's certain rules that you must qualify to be what is typically known as African American. There's certain things.
Yeah.
So it could appear that person could not even be in our community, just happen to be black and from America. Not to say it makes any difference, but you can miscategorize that by saying that. So that's firstly. Secondarily, this young lady is a very talented TikToker. She goes viral talking about every group.
Everyone.
On TikTok. Mm-hmm. White men, we've done a video on that here. Yeah. She lived in Dubai.
Yeah, she lived in Dubai for some time and then she came back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's secondarily.
Everyone can get it.
Yeah, so she's just a controversial TikToker. But thirdly, she said she met this one individual person.
One.
And do we have people in the community that could resemble that? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It could even be somebody as dusty as me every now and then. It depends on what you're talking about. You pick me on the right day. But the bigger thing is why I want to do this video is we see it as a categorization of everybody in the diaspora. Like I saw somebody saying Nigerians are scammers, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. I disagree with stuff like that because that might be the case with some, but the majority of people, I've never met a Nigerian scammer ever. Mm-hmm. Do they exist? Sure. Mm-hmm. South Africans are violent and crate. I've never met a person that are they there? Sure. But it doesn't take away from the good that both of these groups actually produce.
Yeah.
So when we start those stigmas, it stops, for example, like my mom. And I want to say this before I hand the mic over. My mom was afraid for me to come to Uganda.
Yeah.
Why? They don't like our people. These Africans don't like us. Because those people are different from our group. Mm-hmm. They do witch doctor stuff. They're evil. Then I come over here to find out that Ugandans are also afraid of those same people who are witch doctors. But my mom thought all Ugandans were like that. Mm-hmm. They're going to sacrifice you. She was crying. Oh. Yeah, but she didn't know. So what happens is when you put that narrative out there about any group, and all of us in the black world have those narratives, it stops people from wanting to get to know you and to work together.
Yeah.
But we don't say that for the most part, about other groups like whites or Arabs or Indians, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are going to be bad people in every group that are going to exhibit characteristics. Can I find African Americans that exhibit that? Yeah, I know them personally. But you can come here, and you've seen me going off on the private sector here. You can find everything she just talked about right here in Uganda. Ask any woman or man how they feel about each other, or go to Kenya. There are gossip blogs of the shit that happens in every country in Africa that talk about what they do here. And you'd be like, damn, they do that here in Uganda too? Yes. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we all got our bullshit in the game. But then when we do that, because how many African Americans, I was just here the other day with Dr. Ron O'Neill, we ran into an African American guy who's marrying a Ugandan woman. Just like 2 weeks ago. It's happening all the time. So we don't talk about those things.
Yeah.
So I just think that with that kind of those stereotypes in the black world, it's dangerous because then it keeps you from wanting to even like have a conversation because, oh, that person's African American and that person's a passport bro, that person's crazy or whatever. Yeah. And you don't know, that might be your opportunity to do something that you might need somebody, because you don't know what people know, who they are. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely do agree with you. I feel like the part about her generalizing isn't the best. Someone called us out in the comment section recently. It was actually a black woman, and she says as a podcast, we need to stop generalizing. And I just want to put that out there. We're not trying to generalize. So I think what she's doing is wrong. Her saying all black men are this, and then she has dated one guy. So I don't think they are all like that. Mm-hmm. But I want to read the comments from this TikTok. I'll just read like 3.
Yeah, make sure we put them up on a...
Yeah. One person said, I personally go slow on every American. I feel like there's something off about that country and its people. Another said, hold on. This is in Uganda. I don't think I should read that one. And this is coming from the most gentle feminine women in East Africa, Ugandans. I'm Kenyan, by the way. There's something wrong with black men. And she commented that we don't respect trash. We reciprocate what is served. Maybe the lousy, uneducated, naive African women with zero esteem. Anyway, but you can see in the comment section that the girls are going in and they've had some bad experiences. But I feel like when you're dating, you will have some bad experiences. But that doesn't mean you have to put off a whole certain type of men just because you've had one bad experience. So just because there's one bad tomato, are you going to give up on the rest of the tomatoes that are in the
Look, I just want to say one thing. She said something, I don't know if you guys caught it. She says, don't try this because, African women, we are educated.
Yeah.
Educated to do what? That's what I want to know.
I think what she was trying to put across is most passport bros come to third world countries thinking they're going to find the most uneducated woman and make her a wife. But then they get on the continent.
Uneducated, submissive, naive, dumb.
Yeah.
Someone they can easily manipulate and control because, again, they've failed to do these things where they are. So they go where they think it's easier to do. Mm-hmm. So, I don't agree with her generalization of, a group of people based on race. Yeah. But if we're going to generalize passport bros, I think that's okay because the lifestyle is pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm. We can generalize them too?
No, you can. As if that's the lifestyle that you lead, then it's the lifestyle that you lead. And they all, typically... they go by the same rules and the same vibe of leave your country and go and do whatever you're doing abroad.
You find a more submissive woman.
And they go for the same reasons, right? Women, they'll talk about African-American women and say they're too masculine. They'll say they're too intimidating. Mm-hmm. They're too outspoken. So then they'll go to these other places looking for the opposite of that, not really realizing that with the way the world is now, everything's pretty much global.
Yeah.
Black women globally are educated, are standing up for themselves, are saying what they want. Unless you're going to go to rural Uganda, and even there, you're still going to find headstrong women that know what they want and who they are.
Can I just ask a question? Mm-hmm. Since African women, she said you're educated. Mm-hmm. So these white guys that come here, that have
he got us.
No, he didn't.
He got us.
He did not.
I think he got us.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
These white guys who come here with nothing, dusty, broke, homeless. We've seen them. Are y'all educated when it? Because no. Let me. I just want to get my agabo on right now. I gotta get my agabo on. I'm trying to get my agabo on because the thing is this. You see, this is a bigger issue in the black world. In these conversations, because now I'm trying to pick the little tiny pieces of nuggets apart. And when she said she's educated, it sounds like, not to be offensive, black feminism or womanist talking points, right? Which is okay. I don't have a problem with that. But now that guard is up for these black men. And I could also hear the same arguments that I've heard Ugandan women talk about Ugandan men. We're now educated. We have all these. I was in Stanbic today. Her Stanbic. So we're educated. We're different. And that guard is up for you guys that you guys are mistreating us. But then that guard is down for those white guys, or even some of these Indian guys here, whoever they could be, that are not even on the same level as these guys are talking about. But I never hear anybody on TikTok. And there was even one white guy in Francophone Africa that came here and got 800 ladies pregnant. And I've never heard anybody. And the guy he won the lottery in France and then wrote a story about it. I've met a white guy here who's writing a story about how many chicks he's banged here in Uganda. And to be fair, it's more of them coming here than us. But why is that not a conversation for these other groups of guys that have clearly not even the same thing that these guys are coming here with?
Mm-hmm. I will say.
Did I get you?
You got Tina.
No, almost. I'm still.
He's on the ropes. Y'all on the ropes.
Let me take one as you prepare yourself, but you got this. What I will say is that it's the double standards, honestly. But of course, there's a problem at the root of everything. It's that most black girls think that white men have something special or offer something special. They will see a white man as a one-way ticket out of the country. Girls like that exist. You know, it's definitely a double standard. You've stated a very clear point, a very strong point, but it's just double standards. And this one girl has also talked about it on her platform.
Can you tell them about what happened the other day in the bathroom about my clip that somebody was upset about me saying that black folks shouldn't marry white people?
Oh yeah, no, I was out somewhere.
Hold on a second. Story time music.
I was out celebrating my friend's birthday, and I was in the bathroom, and then these two amazing, lovely black women walked up to me. You know, girls were in I'm just really girls. You know, girls were in the bathroom. You know, you get to know one another. You're in the mirror. You're sharing your life stories. You know, makeup tips and whatnot. And they walk up to me, like, "Oh my God, we watch you." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." And they said, "Oh, O'Shea was saying something about
They know my name.
They know you. You actually know one of them, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Really? Okay.
Like Osha was talking about not liking interracial couples. He should let us date white men because we faced a lot of trauma dating black men. And they were just going back and forth. You know how girls when they're a bit drunk and whatnot. They were just going back and forth like, do you know what black men have done to us? Do you know the shit we've had to go through? So you should let us date who we want. You can be saying that on a public platform, something like that. But yeah. To each their own. And they were drunk. So who knows? Maybe they sobered up and thought different.
I think Agaba's
yeah, but you were gonna say something
to
about
O'Shea's point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you did have us gagged for a second because you are right. There's a way we glorify white men.
Yeah.
I think in a similar way that black men also glorify white women.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think all of that is just rooted in, low-key self-hate, racism, internalized racism and all those things, and where we feel like proximity to whiteness is like greatness and all of that. So yeah, you're right, because the majority of the white men in Uganda are dusty, very dusty.
So even still function is the one question I have, but
yeah,
the girls are
but yes, we'll work on it.
and not even
something to say.
Well, let me just say this. One thing I've noticed, living in Uganda. I mean, obviously, I live here now, so I've had an opportunity to go, to some of the places that were less privileged or some of the places that are affluent. And the one thing that I have noticed for sure is, on average, if you're a foreign black person, while there is some level of privilege, you are required to do a lot more than a person that is white of the same passport or nationality, or if they're a citizen of the Western world. So then, and it's almost the same thing I would even gather as even probably being a Ugandan man. Ugandan man has to do a certain level of things, and us as a person, we need to do a certain level of things as more. The white foreigner guy has to do more, but the black foreigner guy still, on average, is going to be required to do even more. And even dare I say, a Ugandan man from the diaspora is going to have to do more than a white guy here. I mean, you could be like an 80-year-old homeless guy and get this and get a 25-year-old hot chick than somebody, as handsome as me, no homo, Agaba here, the Mr. Model guy, we would have to, I'm just using him as an example. He has to do more. And, so whereas I don't think a passport bro is looking at a Ugandan lady and saying, you need to do more than a woman in America. I think it's more or less, are your traditional values more intact? But, a man is not necessarily looking for you to be as educated as an American woman. That doesn't mean that he's looking to take advantage of you or anything like that. But, I mean, the qualities that a man will be looking for from the West would be the same thing that a Gaba was looking for in his wife, or any man who has achieved a level of educational status and wants to see something in his culture that he can identify with or wants to be a part of that culture. That's different. So when these men are coming here and getting married, they can get married. There's one guy I know, he was a contractor in Abu Dhabi. He's making a lot of money. He went back home and got married to somebody, but he married a Ugandan lady, not because he thought that she wasn't educated, but because of the values that she had that were more family oriented. But now these women that are talking like her, hey, you need to have more money than my guy in my culture. He'd be more successful. You might need to be better look. It's a lot of things you have to do to compete. Sorry.
Can Rachel say something?
Man, Rachel, please go ahead. I need to formulate my thoughts
about Rachel
before I offend somebody else.
He
Go
always
ahead.
forgets me.
right?
Yeah, maybe because of
He can't see you.
Yeah.
True.
I forgot about you.
So when I listened to the video,
Black Americans are rude like that.
when I watched the video, I don't want to dismiss what she says. Maybe like you guys said, I wouldn't agree on the generalization of, if every Black American or American, whatever. But I would want to say when you've experienced certain things or when you've been through, like, you've had toxic partners, you've had bad relationships, there is a way you internalize that resentment. And sometimes when it kind of arrests your development emotionally. So when you're presenting something or when you're explaining something to some other people, there is a way you kind of make it everyone's problem when it's not. Now, I would want to think what she speaks of has been existing for a long time. It's not just, her experience or one woman's experience or something like that. And I've seen passport bros, as they call them, travel here. I think some of them travel maybe for fun, maybe to escape whatever they're escaping from their countries. But for me, I would say do self-reflection.
To the Black man?
Exactly, before you decide to travel. Because the very things you would be escaping or the very things you've been dealing with, like some of these people are traveling with trauma and unresolved burdens. And the very things they're claiming to be escaping, they're carrying them and downloading them on the women they think are better here. You understand? Much as I agree there are less traditional women, maybe I would say America or UK or wherever, which they expect to find here. But who are you and what are you looking for here? What are you like? Are you bringing that toxicity you were escaping and you're carrying it here? Because no amount of women or no amount of money is going to help you like stop feeling lonely or anything. The same way you would feel lonely abroad, it's the same way you're going to feel lonely here until you fix yourself as a person. And this is not just for them, but even if you're you're dating locally or internationally, like working on yourself as a person is very important before you go out and deal with other people. So it's very important.
Well, thank you. Rachel is big on mental health and wellness. So I expected that to be it. Rachel's like, you need rest, you need to work on yourself. But yeah, thank you. Cause you were saying something.
I want to know what y'all want because at the end of the day,
Hold on 1 second. Story time music.
I get so confused as to what do you want, ladies? What do you want? Because in one hand, you talk very, very vocally about the things that you don't like about men, yeah. And you position yourselves as arbiters of good taste when it comes to this is what an African woman wants. Yeah. So tell the men out there in the world who are watching right now, all those men who aspire to be Johnny Ramaya's baby boo, all those men out there in the world.
There's no baby anything. Husband. Thank you.
Okay, you have a whole lot of aggression in your voice.
Husband.
I want you to keep that same energy when you're stating very affirmatively what you want. Yeah, if they might want to come here.
Get her too.
Yeah, they might want to come here and kick game to Tina over here.
Yeah,
and
right.
They might want to be the guy who changes her perception of what a real man is all about.
Yeah,
and a lot of the time, I think. And I'm just spitballing here. I'm just hypothesizing here. Maybe men from abroad, whether they be African American men or from another country, they see the image of what an African man is. Yeah, domineering, alpha male, right? Doesn't take no prisoners. This is what an African man is. This is what a traditional African man is, right? We've seen the original African man. sit here on this sofa. With us. So we've seen that representation. Maybe some of those guys are coming through trying to project that energy. Maybe this is what the African woman wants of me. Maybe that energy that they're projecting isn't necessarily even authentic to themselves, but they're giving what they think you want. And since they are not hitting the nail on the head, I want you ladies to tell us.
Please.
Be very prescriptive. And John, I don't know how many episodes that I've seen. I don't know how many reels or clips that I've seen. You very proudly speak on behalf of all African women.
Oh, yeah.
So, the Miss Ambassador and representative of all African women, teach us, give us the game. Give all of those unsuspecting, pseudo, wannabe passport bros out there, give all of those guys the game who, and I'm not talking about the dudes who are coming here with ill intent. I'm not talking about those guys who are just coming here to enjoy themselves for entertainment purposes only. Right? Those guys are on their own. I'm talking about those guys who are genuine about trying to come here. All of those guys who I very enjoyably ridicule sometimes on the Pan-African dating show who are trying to make love connections, right? I want you to tell us, what do you want from them?
Wait, but before you do that, I just want to let you guys know, per our stats, the biggest supporters financially on this channel, number one is men.
Of course.
And they're from where?
The States.
We love y'all.
Yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for supporting.
Give them game. Let's bring the community together.
So all of these things we have, this whole podcast was financed by these guys y'all have a problem with. But Smart, go ahead.
No one has an issue with
Yeah.
that. But if you fit and you are a horrible person,
Look.
I'm so confused because I feel like I already said I don't like the fact that she's generalizing based on race. Like, and if you've heard me in other episodes, I've always said like, let's not do this thing of black men, because our experiences are proximity.
So you're just going to avoid my question.
No, we're going to
get to it, guys.
But our experiences,
when they heard about that money part, they changed.
Our experiences are proximity based, right? So of course, black women are going to have issues with black men because those are the people around them. So no to the generalizing. My only issues was with the culture of passport broing itself.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, Joni, to tell us what you want from a man.
Well,
passport broing. It's a verb. Is that a verb?
Yeah.
I guess so.
She's just put her spin to it. Well, to answer Gabs, that was such a brilliant question and it's very good. But one thing that my mother has told me is that sometimes the devil is also listening to what you're saying. So I do not want to come on this platform and give you guys the cheat code to what African women need because you may be the devil in the sheep's skin.
You want to sit up
and
here
then you may be everything that an African woman wants. So no, you actually have to work for her love. I'm sorry.
So you want to sit up here and criticize people about what you don't want. This is what I 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 hate. This is what I dislike. This is who we think are bad. This is what we find distasteful. This is what we find unacceptable. This is what we find rejectable.
Yeah.
Objectionable.
Yeah.
I am very free with my language to talk about what I don't want.
Yeah.
Right? So where's the affirming language to tell all of these men who are coming here with genuine intent, here's some encouragement, guys. Here's a little bit of a roadmap. Don't give me that bullshit talking about the devil is in there. No. If you want to be authoritative, in your criticism,
be authoritative in.
Be authoritative in your encouragement. Give advice.
Okay.
Give instruction.
Gabs.
They want to learn. But I'm holding you accountable. No, I'm not going to let you guys get away with it.
Do not hate.
I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm not hating. I'm holding you accountable.
Do not hate the player. Hate the game.
You're not playing the game. You're not playing the game. That's the whole thing. You're losing the game.
Exactly.
You chicks are sitting here chronically single, right? You chicks are sitting here chronically single, trying to proclaim like you have the cheat code.
No.
Come on, yo. I'm not letting you get away with it. No.
First of all,
you found me today. We going viral today. Fuck that shit. We going viral today. You chicks want to sit here chronically single. Every woman who has very strong opinions, about how relationships need to be governed, surprise, she's single.
But Gabs, who told you you're single?
I've got hoes.
Come on. Okay, so brag about it. So brag about it.
No, there's no need to. I'm not bragging about anyone until I have I'm sorry.
I got hoes.
Are you proud of that?
Yes.
Pan-African hoes?
If you can have hoes, I can have hoes too.
Who got hoes? I'm a
You got
Christian.
hoes.
I don't have no hoes. What are you talking about?
No, first of all,
saved.
I want to ask Gabs a question. Who told you you were single?
Ask him.
If you're not, prove me wrong.
I mean, in general.
No, but
Speak on it.
just because we're
Speak
not
on it.
talking
the
about
way
it
you
doesn't-
speak about it, the way you talk like women who are not in happy relationships.
Guy.
No, we are happy with our men.
You talk like women who are not in happy
Several
relationships.
Men. No, that was a joke.
By the way, I'm joking. I don't have
Out here Pan-African thotting it up, huh?
Y'all really talk like women who haven't found what you're looking for.
So let me just say this. Let me just say
gonna
this.
love this.
Gabs, I'm
No,
gonna,
look, let me just say this. So to his
I'm gonna
point,
friend Gabs on Instagram.
listen, the game. This is the situation, right? Don't hate the player, hate the game. So now, what? You know, as guys, we play like, I don't know. Some guys are PlayStation people, Xbox people. Women play games with niggas. They don't really, you know. And the thing is, at least if you're going to play a game, you should ultimately win. And I never played anything that I feel like I can't win. What I find a lot of people, you know, even the young lady that was talking about what she was saying, it was what you dislike, which is fine, but there is no clear roadmap as to what is she looking for in a guy, if it's a guy in America or wherever. And, you know, I would think that just what he said is it's unclear. It's a lose-lose situation because of women are really derogatory in terms of what their dislikes are. He has no personality. Okay, let me just deal with that part because she talked about the guy's charisma, right? It was no personality. How many women I've noticed in the African American community or just in general in the black world, in African community, be attracted to guys that have charisma, but the guy has nothing else. And then you go out there and say that he's a pookie or he's something. He's not a builder, but you wanted him to have charisma. The charisma to do what, actually? Like, do you want him to have so much charisma he's a womanizer? What kind of charisma? At what level is quantifiable? Do we know what that is? So, I don't know. It just seems like the lady's kind of talking in spots. And, you know, for men, it's like, you're saying get a woman's love, right? Now, I'm just going to be honest, lady like that. What is a man going to get from dealing with her? In honesty.
A woman who's assertive, who's outspoken, who says what she thinks and thinks what she says.
Okay. What
And
else?
some men want that.
Maybe when she's with her man, she's like a whole different
Yeah,
person.
she definitely is.
Who knows?
This is definitely an internet personality, but
What about
no,
you?
it is.
Because you're definitely not like this on off the camera.
Shut up.
Cream puff. How else are you doing?
No, I'm nice in general.
Who was saying something? Or
So I want to answer Gabs' question. You said, what do we want?
Yeah.
Well, me personally, I want someone who is smart, driven, ambitious as well as driven, because everyone's ambitious. Someone who does what he says he's going to do. Oh, and someone who's handsome also. Oh, and God-fearing. And I think they're...
When's the last time you've been to church?
I said God-fearing. I didn't say a church attendee.
What kind of God is it?
Jesus, Jehovah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You singing the Mount Uganda Baptist Church choir?
No, I used to be my worship leader at my church.
What happened? Because you got hoes now, so how did you backslide?
Sometimes.
You want somebody God-fearing and you got hoes.
You know what?
The men are menning today, Jolita.
I have a list in my notes of what I need from a man and
devil's
what I want
listening.
from a man, but I'm not going to sit here on the internet and say it. Because
She wasn't even looking at the
word of this
you
goddamn
may
said, yo.
just
This
come
shit
up
over
showing
here.
up as that man, and maybe
Pump
that's not your
faking,
true
yeah.
character.
Pump faking, yeah.
You know, but what I'll say for the men out there who are watching and who genuinely hope to find themselves African queens and African wives is, first of all, I think in general, all women just want someone who's respectful. Yeah. Someone who can provide. That's it.
That's all.
I said in general.
How many men have you ladies, you beautiful ladies, have met that could at least fulfill those two criteria?
So many.
Okay, so
That's
many.
one.
You know my thing, guys, I'm African. I just don't speak about certain things. And this is one of
and
them.
also
I'm
as
sorry.
women, we can't like
I'm
say
superstitious.
things Because
But Rachel
Wait a
has
minute.
something to say.
Oh, go ahead, Rachel.
I mean, you have to be respectful. Present yourself the best in the best way, or present the best, of yourself. And yeah.
You see, we are African, guys. It's rooted in us. We just don't say certain
And
things.
guys, you don't understand.
Yeah.
A man has the money, his handsome and everything, but he has no respect. That's something else. You must hate yourself to stay with such a person.
okay.
I'm
Something is in there.
I'm serious.
Yeah,
White,
this is
black,
fire.
whatever. If that man is not respectful, it's a no.
Yeah. Like I said.
But what if he's
in
respectful
general-
and broke?
Oh, God,
What
Tina.
if he's respectful and broke? Well, it depends
It's
on what
it's
you
just a
want.
question.
It depends on what you want.
I got
Some
some
women
friends
are
for
okay
you.
with broke men. They can, elevate them.
Yeah, and provide
everything.
for them.
Yeah, it just depends on if you want a rich man, that's why. If you want
Everyone
a
has
broke
different
one,
priorities. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
For
can't.
me, respect is
Yeah.
very important, and are you a good communicator? Because listen,
Some of us don't need men who communicate on a day.
what do you mean? Men would
Give me my space.
Guys, every woman is different. Everyone wants different things. So I can't speak for all African women, but what I can say is in general, I would think most African women would need you to be respectful because that's at the root of everything. Because no African woman is going to take you to her parents when you act like a hooligan in public. Respectful.
Did you say hooligan?
Bro, I just know dating
he's coming
Johnny
for us
Maya
again.
needs to come with it. You know when you used to like open up a box of Cracker Jack. You open up a box of Cracker Jack and you find a decoder ring in that joint. This chick speaks in code language. Let me tell you
No,
something.
it's so simple. It's not so difficult.
Okay.
You know, one thing I will say this before we end. I'm now 42, and when it comes to understanding women in general, I don't care for what part of the world. I understand one thing. I still don't know what the fuck is going on. I accept it for what it is. So I have no idea what y'all are talking about. And I used to try to spend my time trying to figure that out. And then I understood it was an uphill battle that I was going to lose. So I tried to start understanding myself more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what she's talking about, I mean, I get that you can have men in our community that could be like that. But, like I said, I've seen ladies here from Uganda that have married Ugandan men. I've heard women talk bad about Ugandan men. I've heard women talk bad about Congolese men. And then I've heard the success stories on the other side. Ugandan, Nigerian men, success. There's even an African American that married a Ugandan man, success.
Yeah.
So you hear this all the time, and I'm trying to feel like, okay, then if that's the case, how are these other people having success when I see that all the time happening between the African American community and Ugandan or Rwandese and Uganda, whoever else, It's so easy to just do those generalizations. And it comes to his point that those people who are more active in what they're trying to achieve, they're just on that path and they end up meeting it because they're thinking positive versus, living in this world of castigating people all the time like Tina.
Yeah. You know what though?
Wow.
Right? He just dropped that.
That is such a lie. And anyone who knows me and has heard me speak on black men issues knows that that's the very much
The
opposite.
first time I
Passionate.
met Tina, we had like a 2-hour debate about who?
What?
Black man.
When I first met you.
About black men.
But who? We were talking about a person in particular.
Oh, we're not gonna speak ill of the dead right now.
We had a conversation about and in fact, no stripping on the thing, but
Oh, okay.
I know you want to thought.
Bro is cute. Just let
Bro,
No,
y'all just
girl,
gotta let her
let's
live. Tina came here on a mission.
Yeah, you want to add some more hoes on.
We're not trying to be chronically single anymore.
You said you got hoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm dating
Yeah.
Yeah.
different people.
It's funny because I think it was episode 40. Episode 40 was the first episode that Gaba came on. Was episode 40, which was the Kevin Samuels video.
Yeah.
In which I completely obliterated you that whole
I'm just
entire
trying.
episode.
I'm just trying to meet any guy that you would date and respect who would allow you to call him one of your hoes.
No. But any guy who would be dating me would know that it's just banter. It's just funny to say. It's just funny to say. It's just banter.
Especially can't be no Ugandan man you talking to like that for sure.
Nah, bro.
Never.
It's not a hoe.
Hey, you come to me, I will talk to you. I will grab you by the.
You know one thing I want to say
They're not
I want to talk to you
when
today
I just
in
joined
the office.
Kinganda, when O'Shea was like a father figure. Well, he still is like a father figure, FYI.
She father zoned you.
No. No, what I'm trying to say is there's a time O'Shea sat me down and told me these are the list of things you need to be asking any man who wants to get to you. And I actually noted them down. So there's that too.
So I'm the only person that knows the keys.
We're gonna write him a similar list for these babes that he's dating.
I don't have no babes.
What does that mean? Do you have an issue with the babes that he's dating?
I don't have an issue. I just think he
joined
the way
the
he
Da Vinci
complains, maybe he needs just a little bit of assistance in the vetting process.
What do you mean? I didn't
Also,
complain.
you don't like you think the girls he's dating are not the ones?
No,
because he's always complaining. So clearly,
I'm not complaining about girls. I'm complaining about middlemen. What have I talked about dating women on my WhatsApp status? It's been a long time. Now these middlemen in Africa. That's
Guys, let's wrap this one
y'all
up.
out here struggling, man.
Hey.
Gabs
Okay,
has
Mr.
exposed us.
Married
I'm going to
Man.
unfollow him on Instagram. Anyway, tell the boy they can find you.
Me. Okay, so Tinagram on Instagram. But please don't come with the BS in the comments because a lot of you really need to find other things to do.
You can get in her inbox and become one of her hosts.
Do you want to
That's
be a
always an option. So
hoe?
instead of just commenting, you can hop in there, see what's going on. I mean,
Be a hoe and send her some money too.
you,
Okay, that's wrong.
few shots of Aquafina water, play
Cash app is
Might-
£.
Okay,
That
guys.
might get you a like on your
Guys.
messages.
Guys, where can they find you?
I'm saving all of this ammunition for another conversation on another day. Master Gabs on Instagram. Allergic to Average Podcast is live on YouTube. Check us out, man. Support the movement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at O'Shea Duke. Shout out to Jonita. She is going viral today in the country. I'll put the article up here, Daily Monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we made the front page, and Jonita got the interview.
Yeah.
So I'm just so proud
Thank you.
that King Uganda's finally getting some respect in this bitch. So honestly.
Oh, you're going to put on the floor. Oh, thank you, Tati. You see, it's like... Thank you, Tati.
That's all. Don't message me, please.
Okay, I would tell you guys where to find Rachel, but you have to pay me to tell you where
they
to.
can only find me. I only allow business relationships. If
Okay.
it's not business, I am not ready to fix anyone. Please.
Okay.
Yep.
Very direct.
They ready to be
very-
seen yet?
She's like, don't come for me if you're not talking about money. But if you can give me some little money, I'm going to tell you her handle. Just
We know.
Anyway, guys, if you have anything you'd like to share with us, you can send us an email at teamkenganda@gmail.com and follow us on all social media pages at Kenganda Nation. If you are looking for your African queen, African king, you can subscribe to the Pan African Dating Show. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.